Hello. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confident Musician Show. You are tuning into 5 pro tips on what happens if I fail because I fear the unknown. My name is Brett Cusack and my artist name is Megalove, and I'm a musician, songwriter, music educator, and life and business coach. And at The Confident Musician, we help musicians to be able to overcome self-doubt and overwhelm and create more confidence than you ever thought possible so you can make music, make a difference, and share your unique talent with the world. Alrighty, if you watch this video and you found something or find something useful, valuable, interesting, please let me know in the comments. I love to make these better, and if you let me know what you found useful, I'm going to do more of that and less of the stuff that you don't comment on. So that would be much appreciated. Also, if you know somebody who fears the future, please tag them in this video or flick it to them in a DM. Hopefully this is going to be really helpful for you. All right, without further ado, let's dip in to our 5 pro tips on what happens if I fail because I fear the future. Alrighty, tip number 1 is failure is inevitable. Failure is really important. You're either going to win or you're going to learn something. So the other part of this is when you do fail at something and then you don't get back up and keep doing it, that's also really important because it lets you know that whatever it is that you're trying to do is not actually that important to you. So it's a bit of a reality check when you do get some failure because you either decide, hey, I want to figure this out, I want to play the long-term game, or alternatively, actually, this is not really that important to me and it's time to move on. And there is no shame in doing either of those 2 things, but you do, if you want to get really good at something, you're going to have to put in the work and you're going to fail. And that's just the rules of the game. Who would want to follow anybody who's never failed at anything? They just have their head stuck up their butt and pretending that their poop don't stink. Anyway, tip number 2. Failure is the feedback that you actually need to succeed. So you're getting some information to let you know where you are at. And that is incredibly important because you don't want to be trying to do the thing in the future that you're not ready for yet. You want to focus on the things that you're ready for now. And so what I always say to my clients is use the same strategy that you use to learn to walk and talk, which is to make sure whatever you're doing is really important. If you need some help with that, there is a link to a course that I offer to help you understand. Make sure it's really important to you. Make sure you're ready to play the long-term game, and that could be 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 years, and that you're also surrounding yourself with experts. Your parents were there holding your hand, making sure you learn how to walk and talk. And so when you're learning to do something that is hard and you're worried about all of the elements, find somebody who's already done it and ask them for help. Tip number 3 is what are all the benefits of you failing? So when you actually start to look at the positives of something going wrong, so say for instance, you write your first song and nobody wants to listen to it. Or you don't know how to record it yet. And so the benefits of that is it lets you know that you don't know how to do that yet. So then you're like, okay, cool. How do I figure this out? Who do I ask for help? And so when you stack up the benefits of actually going through the level that you're at, will actually give you permission to move through. So write 50 benefits of failing at writing your first song, 50 benefits of failing at your first Facebook Live, 50 benefits of failing at your first songwriting collaboration, 50 benefits of making a mess of your first open mic night, 50 benefits of your first album not going anywhere. And you'll actually start to realize that these things are actually part of the process. So writing benefits will actually help you start to see that all of the failures that you're going to face along the journey are actually on the way instead of in the way. And then that's also, when you list those benefits, it's also going to give you permission to move forward because you're going to start to realize that when you fail at something, you're also going to learn. You can also do a list of downsides of not failing or the downsides of staying the same. Because if you're not doing something moving forward, you're perceiving that staying where you are is got more benefits than drawbacks. So when you do this exercise, it actually moves the seesaw so that you're actually ready to move forward. Lots of fun. And that's what I've started to realize with everything that I do is that we can only ever control 3 things: our perceptions, our decisions, and actions. And most people make a different decision and try to take different actions with the same understanding or the same stories or the same limiting beliefs that they currently have. And they wonder why they 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months later that they end up back on the couch with a pizza and a beer doing exactly the same thing. So let us know if you're watching online and let us know if you're watching on the replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Alrighty, so Tip 3, just to recap, what are all the benefits of failing? And then what are all the downsides of not failing or staying the same? It's going to move the seesaw so you actually step in to the next level of wherever you're at with your music journey. Tip number 4 is to study the people you admire most and learn about their failures by reading all of your favorite artists and other successful people that you admire. You start to realize that, wow, they went through so many failures in order to get where they are. And this process is really important because it actually helps you start to realize that maybe I'm not doing enough work, I'm not making big enough moves, I'm not investing in myself, I don't have the right coaches and mentors, I'm not surrounded by the right people that are doing the things that I want to be able to do. So make sure you're studying people that you admire most and learning and understanding what their failures are, because they're always going to be 100%, 100 times more than what you've done. All right, tip number 5 is to get a coach or mentor to guide and inspire you along your journey so you can speed up the process. It's going to cost some money and it's going to take some time for you to process that. But the most important thing is that when you do have a coach and mentor, it's going to help speed up the process, and you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time. And that's why I've created my latest course, which is called Confidence and Happiness Secrets for Musicians, which has a whole bunch of stuff on your internal world to help you understand what it might be keeping you stuck and expose and help you understand your internal world and help you understand what the problems behind the problems are. And you can get that on the link below this video. There is at least $1,800 worth of value in the video if you put into action all of the things in the video trainings, and you can get it for the cost of less than a packet of strings. I don't know how long it's going to be that price for, so make sure you get a copy right now. All right, let's recap our 5 pro tips on I fear failure. I fear the unknown. What happens if I fail? So tip number 1 is to acknowledge that failure is important and is part of the journey. And the beauty of it is that whenever you fail at something, you're either going to, or whenever you do something, you're going to either win or you're going to learn. And my partner Sarah calls it flearning, failing and learning. And me running these online Facebook things and then uploading them everywhere, I'm learning. I'm still learning. The first ones, go and have a look at the first ones. They're not that great. And these are slowly starting to get better, even though I'm still making mistakes. But it's more important that I get this information out there than it is to make it sure it's perfect. So I'm failing and learning through this process. So also with tip number 1, if you fail at something and then you decide that you no longer want to do it anymore, that's awesome because you let go of it. So sometimes failing is actually the most important thing that you can do because it actually helps you just move on and try something new. Tip number 2, failure is the feedback that you actually need for success. It helps you actually get real life interaction and feedback to actually let you know that this is where you're at and these are the things that you need to learn in order to get through. So you always want to make sure you're using the same strategy that you use to learn to walk and talk, which is to make sure that it's incredibly important for a baby learning to communicate and have the freedom of movement. Those things are incredibly important. They are also playing the long-term game. They're taking a couple of steps and stacking, taking a couple of step, stack, step. I'm doing it, stack. And so this strategy is the exact same thing you're going to use with writing your first song, doing your first songwriting collaboration, learning guitar, learning to sing, learning to songwrite, learning to record, learning to do production. So all of these skills are incredibly important and they're going to take time. So make sure you play the long-term game. And obviously when you're learning to walk and talk, you are surrounding yourself with experts in these fields every single day, all day. And that's why you progress with them pretty quickly. Tip number 3, what are all the benefits of failing? So make a huge list, 50, 5, 10, 15, 20, as many as it takes for you to actually acknowledge that failing is actually important and it's actually on the way instead of in the way. Tip number 4 is to study the people you admire most and learn about their fails so you can start to integrate that what they did was fail a lot in order to get to where they are. Taylor Swift, by the time she was 16, had written 150 songs, and I dare say she wasn't just writing them and keeping them on her computer. She was out there and playing them. I don't know whether that's a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case because when I watched that documentary, she's on a radio show talking about it. So she'd written 150 songs, so therefore she's out there playing them, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't work, and testing them out there in the real world. So play the long-term game, study the people you admire most, and just acknowledge that they're going to fail so much more than you, and give yourself permission to fail. Tip number 5 is to get a coach or mentor, somebody that can guide and inspire you along your journey and hold your hand and help you understand the process, speed it up a little bit as well, so that you can avoid some of the challenges. And if it might seem like I might be the person to be able to help you with either songwriting, networking, collaboration events, music lessons, help you with your singing or guitar playing, helping you produce your songs, life coaching and mentoring, and business coaching if you need some support with actually creating a career around your talents. And if you would love to have a quick chat with me and find out a little bit more information, there's a link below this video where you can book in a quick 15-minute Q&A with me, where we can have a discussion about what you want to be able to do and whether I'm going to be the right person to work with and whether we're going to be the right fit to work together. I have a limited amount of opportunities to speak with me each week, so make sure you book a call with me straight away so that we can actually get that ball rolling. So do not wait. Let's get started. Let's get the conversation happening, and it's obligation free. And so, yeah, book it now. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching this video. If you know somebody who fears the unknown and is worried they're going to fail, please flick this video across to them. And if there was something useful, valuable, or interesting in this video, please let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this. My name is Brett from The Confident Musician, and I will see you on the next video. Until next time, make music, make a difference. Bye-bye.